Good morning, everyone. Time for day 3. I think it's day 3 before we end the year. And I'm here, Claudia Bazar, to talk to you today about systems and time management. Now, I could talk about this all day. So this will be like a fast, quick version. And I'll try to stay warm with you guys because it's like 19 degrees in my garage today. So anyway, so let's talk about systems and what is a system. So all of you guys in this group are leaders, right? So as a leader, you can't just think about yourself. As a director, you can't just think about yourself. And maybe you're even brand new and you're like, I'm not a leader. I just promoted to director in 30 days and you're still a new consultant. That's okay, right? Because you're going to develop into a leader. Good morning, everyone. Comment below if you're watching live. Let me know where you guys are watching from. And so as a director, all of you guys are at least a minimum level of directors. You have to have systems in place that your team can follow. And I hope that your nationals, I'm sure they do have systems for you to follow. I'm sure they have how to run virtual parties, how to recruit. They have some kind of system for you guys. Good morning, Shannon, that you can duplicate. So think about, good morning, Stephanie. Think about working smarter, not harder, okay? So your nationals that are here in this group have probably become a national executive director with some kind of systems in place. So instead of thinking about reinventing the wheel and having to do it all your way and your own way, why not just follow the system that is already in place and then tweak it a little bit to fit like you, right? Good morning, Cindy. So that's what a system is. So in this industry, in this direct sales, Pampered Chef, whatever you want to call it, everything starts with a system if you want it to be duplicatable and if you want it to be passed on to team members and team members and team members. Because it's not just about you that maybe is a little bit seasoned. It's about mostly new consultants that if you don't give them some kind of system to follow, right, they're just kind of like trying a couple things and most likely they're not successful. So when it comes to systems, what systems, and comment below, what systems do you have in place, does your organization have in place for you to easily follow, right? For you to easily know where to find things, for you to easily know how to run a virtual party, right? For you to easily know where all the trainings are. And maybe they're not all in place. That's okay. So you could think about maybe creating some systems for yourself and your team to make yourself duplicatable. Okay? That's what systems are for. Like I said, I could talk about this all day, but I only got like 5 minutes. So number 2, my other favorite is time management, because until you figure out how to manage your time, you're never going to be working for full productivity, right? So I always teach my team time blocking, making a schedule. I know it sounds like cliche, but hey, it works, okay? Because otherwise we all have 24 hours in the day, right? We all have 24 hours in the day, but it's up to us to decide what we do in those 24 hours, okay? And the biggest stealer of time is social media and not knowing what to do, right? So maybe if you love to scroll social media, I love to scroll social media, maybe set some time aside. Like I typically do that at night. Instead of watching like TV or something, I just scroll for a couple minutes, shut down my brain, and then I fall asleep. Or I might do it, I actually do it after my workout. I just sit there, drink my shake, and I scroll for a little bit. So have some dedicated time. So when you look at your schedule, we all have 24 hours in the day. The first thing, you can go to Google and you can just type in, here's my Google, right? You can Google everything. You can just type in weekly schedule, template or something, and then you can create your own or you can print one out. I'm a color person, so I print mine out, and it's on my list to do this week because I always like to update it every year to improve my performance, right? So you print it out Monday through Sunday and you decide first, if you work full time, right, you got to put your work in there. So you go and block it out, take the color blue or whatever you want to take and block out your actual work. But remember, it's not just when work starts and when work ends. If you're working somewhere else, you probably have to drive there. You probably have to drive back, right? So look at all those things. So you're not wasting time. And then you put your other family things in, right? So after, if you work full time, of course that comes first. Then put any family things, like maybe my kids have taekwondo, my kids have dance, right? Maybe there are certain appointments you have to go to every week, and then put those in there, right? And then the other thing, you have 2 things left that you need to put in there in your schedule, right? And let me know if you have a schedule and you follow it. And if not, I challenge you to go make one before the year end. The other thing that are then left is, when do I have time to work my Pampered Chef business? So now you look at the schedule and all these blocks for the week, and you can see these pockets of time that if you actually knew what you were doing, you could work, right? Instead of like, I'm not sure what to do right now. You're like, bam, I got a list. Let's go and let's go to work, right? So then you put in your Pampered Chef thing. Now, the other thing that I think is very important, besides work, family, what else did I say? Pampered Chef, right? It's your work, right? It goes all hand in hand, is personal time for yourself. So like right now, this is my personal time, right? I'm about to work out. It's like my me time, put my headphones on. There's no kids, there's no husband. It's just Claudia Bazar in her own zone. So for me, that is my personal time, right? Or reading a book at night, that is my personal time. And maybe it's not every day that you get to do it. Maybe it's you can just go for a walk for 15 minutes. Maybe it's you reward yourself with getting your nails done once a month, or maybe you like to go swimming. I don't know, right? Make sure you do something for yourself, because we cannot, as a human being, we are not gonna be happy if we just give, and we don't fuel ourselves first, okay? So I know it says nothing to do with time management, but you get the point, all right? So how are you is your time controlling you, or are you controlling your time? Do you know successful people know what they're doing every single minute of the day? Right? Like I'm so like on a schedule that even like on the weekends, I still get up at 5:30 because it's just what I do, what I've done for years, right? So, but I remember when I started, I'd be like, oh yeah, on the weekends I get to sleep in. And I did until my body adjusted, right? And people are like, oh, you still get up early. I'm like, yeah, it's just part of what I do, right? It just becomes you after a while if you follow a schedule. And then you can take it to the next level. Once you know when you're working your Pampered Chef business, then you can even, let's say you're like, I'm going to work, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Then if you really want to accelerate in this business, look at all the things that make you income, look at all the things that you need to do for your business, and then block those things in that time zone, right? That's like 2.0 right there. So, quiet time, right? If you have little kids, guys, I started this business, I was 6 months pregnant, okay? I've had kids 2 years apart. The worst, love him to death, but the worst was the 2 and 4 year olds, 1 and 3 year old. Like that was really a struggle. So if that's you, you know what? Enjoy the moment, right? You work around them and you do what you got to do. But yes, I remember when my son stopped taking a nap and I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, oh, no, right, Avery? I was like, it is quiet time. I don't care what you do in your room. You can watch a movie. You don't have to sleep, but you're laying down because this mama needs a break and I need some time to get my Pampered Chef stuff done. And the other thing I remember when my kid was little, I would save 2 things. I would save mini marshmallows for when I needed to be on a call, which back then it was just conference calls. So it wasn't like Zoom where you could I guess you could mute yourself, but so I had this little bowl of marshmallows I would give to my kids when I had a special call that I needed them to just sit and be quiet. And then the other thing that I would do, maybe this helps some of you guys with little kids, is I would have a box of toys that only would come out when I needed them to be quiet, so they would be excited about those toys, so they weren't always out. And then I also used to go to Dollar Tree and buy like all kinds of little things for $1. So when I needed them to be surprised and engaged or whatever, I'd be like, oh, look, here's a new toy. And they would be engaged for a couple of minutes or whatever. Yes, goldfish, right? Yep, Erica, that's where you're at. You know what? Enjoy the moment. If you have little kids, you're not going to have a perfect schedule, but you can have a task list. You can say, okay, when they are sleeping or when they're taking a nap or when they're quiet, you have 10 minutes to do something rather than other things. Listen, you can clean your house with your kids. You can do your laundry while your kids, scream and run around. All those things can be done, but you need focused time for your business. And maybe, just maybe, you might need to ask your significant other, if you have one, to ask for time and share with them why this business is important to you and say, hey, you know what? I would love it if twice a week you could put the kids to bed, right? I'm not a relationship coach or whatever, but I think everybody's equal. So you might want to ask or, talk to your partner about that you need time for yourself and you need time for your business. What is the sleep thing? Yeah, I know. I used to be there. Been there, done that. We're past that. Now we have an 8 and a 10-year-old. So anyway, this was my little spiel this morning about systems and time management. If you got value, comment below. Let me know something that you took away. And you guys have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow for the last day. Ciao, ciao.